To create an email in the new email builder, click the Marketing tab and then select Emails. Then select Create Email at the top right. You'll then have the ability to choose a template if you'd like to get a head start, or choose blank if you'd like to build an email from scratch. Before getting started, you might want to head over to the Settings tab in the middle of the screen to set up things like your from name, from address, the subject line of the email, and even preview text, which is additional text that you can see in some email clients like Gmail here after the subject. And lastly, you can give this email a name. Back on the Edit tab, we can get started building. Let's say we want to delete this block and start from scratch. The first thing that you want to do is grab a layout block. So this is a full width layout block here. So I drag that in, and now I get its settings over here on the left. First, I get the column layout. If I decide, you know what, I'd actually like to split that in two, I can just change it here, and now I have two columns where I can drop elements. You can do 3, you can do ratios, etc. Let's keep it at 1. And now I can toggle on and off padding. Padding is the spacing around the section. If I want to put more space on top, I can increase the padding here, and you can see it's adding additional space on the top. The same applies for the bottom and the sides. Next, we can choose the background type for this section. If we want to make this a full width email, we can do that here, or we can contain the background to the content width. We can change the color of the background, or we could even select patterns. Once you're good with your section settings, go ahead and hit done, and now you can drag in elements. So let's say we wanted to add an image here. We can drag in the image element and then select replace and upload an image into the file library where we can then select it. Once selected, you have some additional information like the image URL and some options here where you can give it alt text for SEO purposes. You could link the image to something, and you can actually control the width and the height of the image right here. Again, we get a padding toggle if we wanted to add spacing around our image, and then we can choose the alignment of our image down here. Once you're good with your image, go ahead and hit done. You can continue to drag elements into your section by just dragging them over, and then you can control them on the left-hand side. So you could add your heading here, add additional paragraph text, and get full control over it, just like you would in any WYSIWYG editor. Let's pop back and drag in, let's say, a button. We get all the button controls over here. And then let's say we wanted to add a divider. Okay, we've got divider controls where we can do things like increase the width of the divider there. Let's just change the color of that real quick. So let's go ahead and click done, and then we can continue to build out additional sections with additional elements, such as social media links. We've got a bunch of different controls over what they look like, and even a really cool option for a footer. If we drag in the footer, it will display a pre-built footer for us where it will automatically and dynamically insert information based on the account. Let's say we wanted to give this section a color in the background. We could just hover out to the section, select it, and now we can give it a color. Let's say we wanted it to be dark to contrast our email, and then our socials should go back to color, let's say. There we go. And let's say we wanted to make our text in here more colorful. So we could just highlight that and change the text to something brighter. There we go, that looks good. All right, once you've got your email ready to go, before you send, you obviously want to preview it. So you can come over here to the top right, click Actions, Preview. First we need to save. Now we can come back to Actions, Preview. And here we can see what this email will look like on a desktop, a tablet, and a mobile phone. Once that looks good, you can click back to the builder, and then you'd want to send yourself a test. So you can just add any from address in here you want, like test@test.com, to yourself, and then give it a subject and send yourself a test to make sure it looks good in your browser. Once you're ready to send, you can click the Sender Schedule tab, and here you've got a couple of options. First, on the left, you need to determine the recipients. So you can either search individual contacts, you can select contacts by a tag, or you can even choose a smart list of contacts. Once you've selected the group of contacts you want to send to, it will show you how many people are going to receive this email, and you can choose to either send it now or send it for later. Lastly, let's check out one feature that could save you a bunch of time. Let's head back to the Edit tab. And here we can see this second tab is called Appearance. If we click the Appearance tab, we get a few options that are basically global settings within this specific email. So I can click into Template and I could change the background color, the body color, even the width of the email. But also I can set defaults for things like the font, the buttons, and the dividers. So if you know you're going to add multiple buttons to an email, you should probably come to the Appearance tab and set them up first. Because when you set them here, for example, let's say we want our buttons to be yellow with Courier font, size 22, well then anywhere in my email where I add a button will take those style settings. So again, the Appearance tab is a great way to pre-configure global settings for within the specific email if you know you're going to add multiple